Hello and welcome back to another entry in my game's devlog. I am kitsune-fuzzy and let me show you what is new this week. First off, the levels really needed some more decoration to not look so plain and empty. To combat this, I have added a bunch of flowers. For this I took some that are freely available in Kenny's asset packs. Those are really great if you need some simple or maybe placeholder graphics for your game. They are also licensed CC0, that means you can use them in personal or commercial projects, and if you don't want to, you don't even need to give attribution. But I think they're really great and deserve a shout out. To make even the plants more interesting, I have added a script to make them bend away when you roll over them. And for some reason this is more fun than it has any right to be. I then made foliage actors out of them, so I can use Unreal's built-in foliage system to place them super easy and quickly around the levels. Last week I showed the bridge that was made with Blender's geometry nodes. I thought that if I added my own models as instances like wooden posts or planks, that they would keep their UV texture mappings in the result. But nope, they don't. Apparently UV problems with geometry nodes are a known problem, and it seems that they are indeed working on solutions. So for now I will just move on and hope that they can fix this before I finish the project. And if not, that will be a problem for future me, not now me. Next, I have also been working on extending the node system for the main level geometry. For example, I have added some stone walls that automatically extrude where I place it by just changing the material, which is super simple with a base low poly mesh, as well as some indentations in the ground that are also automatically generated by just changing the material. For importing the model in Unreal Engine, instead of using a decimated mesh in Blender for collision geometry, I changed to using Unreal Engine 5's new nanite system. So I A, don't have to give a darn about the poly count, and B, can use an automatically generated fallback mesh for collision. I just need to make sure the error rate is small enough so I don't float in the air like here. Now for the biggest change. I added big trees to the level and adjusted the lighting and post-processing. For the trees I was anticipating to model or sculpt them, but no, that is not necessary. I did a quick Google search for a tree generator for Unreal Engine and came across this gem. A stylized tree generator from Aaron Langmead, a tech artist and evangelist at Epic Games. He offers this amazing tool for free to use, so I had to give it a try. After importing it into Unreal Engine 5, there were some small problems with the deformation of trees, but since all of the plugin was accessible to me, I could easily fix that and start making trees. I just needed to place a root object from the plugin, then add a trunk and a leaf object. Luckily I had some leaves I modeled for an older project still lying around that fit perfectly here, so I didn't need to make new ones. Then I just upped the resolution, add deformation to give them a more interesting shape, and export them as a static mesh that I also convert to nanite meshes so poly count doesn't matter. Next I wanted to improve the respawn transition when you die or fall out of the world. So I made a list of possible ways to lose that of course can still get extended at any point, and now when you fall from the stage, the camera stays where it is and just rotates to look at the ball. And then a fade out and fade in effect is played, so the respawn doesn't look too harsh anymore. Now I noticed a small problem with my approach to detecting if the ball is currently on ground. I used the line cast downwards to see if there is anything below us, but that was a problem on the bridge. While sitting between two planks, the line cast shoots right between them and we are not considered to be on ground, and so we are not able to jump from here. But this was an easy fix. I just had to change the line cast to a sphere cast to give the collision check some thickness. And now there is one last problem in the game. Every game needs buttons to press, so it was time to make some. First we need of course a model. I made a base mesh in Blender and then sent it over to ZBrush to add some more details. And fun fact, for the writings on the rim I looked up some runes online and I'm fairly sure this is as wrong as it can get, but I spelled the word switch on the side, because well, it is a switch. With the model done, I imported it in Substance Painter and looked for a clay material in the Substance Assets database. I still have some points to spend here, and I found something that looked good. I give the button itself some kind of red plastic material so that it signals importance, and add some dark dirt over the model in crevices so it looks like it has been out in nature for a few years. Now it still needs some sort of press me symbol on top, so I made a quick mask in Photoshop that I could slap on this bad boy. After importing everything into Unreal Engine and taking a quick look, I decided to add a bit of emission to the button. So back in Substance Painter I added an emissive channel in the mix and put some orange glow in the middle. And now it looked great. And now it's getting a bit complicated. To finally make the button interact with things, I have created a blueprint interface that I can slap on anything and everything that I want to be interactable by a button. Now, when the ball stomps on the button can have a reference to another actor with this interaction interface, and it then sends a signal to that object to do whatever it does when triggered. In this case, I made a gate or a wall, whatever you want to call it, that will play an animation to move out of the way so the player can move past it. I have also added a camera transition so the player is being shown what is happening. And this is what it looks like. For the final edition this week, I wanted to make some of those 3D cartoony puff cloud particles appear whenever the player performs a stomp attack. So I made a simple model once again in Blender and I used meta balls to form the cloud. These things are really cool, they are like goo and kind of stick together. Then I cleaned up the model a bit by hand and sent it to Unreal, where I started making a material for them. I want them not to become darkened all the way by shadows, so I added a base emission and another one on the rim using a Fresnel node, I think that's how it's pronounced. With the model and materials done, I had to face Unreal's Niagara particle system. It took me a while to get around, but I finally was able to make a ring of the clouds spawn and then slightly rise upwards. Spawning them also caused a handful of problems. I attached the particle system to the ball, but that meant it would also rotate with the ball and the ring of clouds could be in any direction. So I corrected the position and rotation each time before I activate the particle system, and I also learned that I have to keep the particle system alive after it fired once, so that I can reuse it. But even though it seems small, I think this effect was worth it. You have all been giving me some good suggestions of things to add to the game in the comment section, and I really appreciate that, and I will keep them in mind when designing actual levels. When they seem to fit well into level without feeling out of place, I will definitely add your ideas in. I was also wondering if I should add some sort of collectible in the levels. This could bring people to explore the area more. But what use should they have if added to the game? Like unlocking new skins or unlocking levels maybe? I'm not sure, maybe you can let me know in the comments what you think about this idea. But yeah, this is it for this week's devlog, and if you'd like to follow this project, make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all again next time. Bye!